So it is because of the seller's stamp duty that have implication on the valuation of the small development. If I start off with buying a big development, the price of the big development grows apart to that of the smaller development. I start to sell off the big development to come down to buy the small development. So the first one that we check on is we check the location. We go and search for, and we use condo, freehold, and 999. So if you look at this graph here, on the left hand side, this is per square feet. This is the volume, this is the year. Let's now go to the map, and you can see all the balloons here. This represents all the transactions that take place. Now we go over here, and then we draw from here. Because this entire place is, but I'm using this particular segment to compare against and see how the performance fare. So we name it TK lah. So next, you look at my field. Condo, freehold, 999 is the same. Okay, I get result. What do you find?
There's a lower performance in.
Why is it that its performance is like that?
Yeah, because we couldn't match up.
They cannot match up the valuation. Why is it that they cannot match up the valuation? Let's say, for example, we search for this particular property and you look at the past transaction. 2024, 2025, no transaction. 2023, 2 transaction. 22, no transaction. 21, 1 transaction. 22 transaction. Before that, 7 years, no transaction. So because there is no volume, it's difficult for the valuer to give a good valuation. So in this case, right, because this particular development didn't have much transaction, so generally is affected lah. The question still is there. Why is it that before 2011, 2012, the price were very close? After that, it went up. You know, my take is this. During this time, there was an implementation of the seller's stamp duty. If you purchase the house today, and if you sell within 1 year, you have to pay.
Within 3 years, there's that problem.
Initially, when it's first implemented, it was under 4 years. So it was 16% in the first year if you sell. After you purchase, 12% in the second year, 8% in the third year, 4% in the fourth year, and 0% in the fifth year. After that, they reduced these to 3 years into 12, 8, and 4%. So could it be that during this time of implementation, the investors stopped transacting so often? Because in the past, they are not restricted by this 3 or 4 years period. Now you see these two graphs, they grow in tandem with each other. That's because within 1 year is very short. But if you expound on that 1 year, you could likely see those heartbeat kind of movement where if I start off with buying a big development, the price of the big development grows apart to that of the smaller development. I start to sell off the big development to come down to buy the small development. Then the price of the small development start to narrow with the big development. I sell off the small development and I move into the big development to purchase. So after that, right, because of the seller's stamp duty, people cannot do this anymore. We try and see this one. It's also a small development. You can see that generally before 2012, you see the volume is more. People keep bouncing off, they keep doing the transaction, but beyond 2012, you see the transaction, the volume come down drastically. So it is because of the seller's stamp duty that have implication on the valuation of the small development. What I'm sharing with you is true. My observation, but my observation on the ground cannot be confirmed until I plot the chart.